Welcome back, dear children. Are you going well? Okay, hope you all are going well. Students, did you celebrate Republic Day? Yes. So, are you ready for today's class? Okay, then let's start. In the previous class, we completed the lesson First Showers. Right. Now, it's time to begin a new lesson. Before going to that lesson, I want to ask you some questions. All of you listen to my questions and answer me, okay? Have you ever heard about folk tales? Yes, some of you are telling that they heard about folk tales. Now tell me, what are folk tales? Yes, folk tale is a story passed down from generation to generation orally. Students, now can you tell me a folk tale that you studied in the previous classes? Yes, some of you are telling about the folk tale Cinderella. Cinderella is a folk tale that you studied in 6th standard. Am I right? Yes. So many folk tales are there, including Cinderella, The Little Mermaid, The Girl Without Hands, etc. So today we are going to meet a beautiful folk tale. Students, do you know about the main theme of the unit that we are going through? Yes, very good. Nature is the main theme of this unit. We know that we all are a part of this beautiful nature. Am I right? Yes. So we have some responsibilities here. Students, the relationship between man and nature is a dynamic reality. We human beings are part of it and depend on other living beings that surround us. Do you know? Man has some lessons to learn from nature, especially the sacrifice that the other creatures do for man. We should keep in mind that nature gives us strength, hope, peace, and remedies for all our problems in life. Students, so here we are going to deal with a folk tale that tells about the relationship between man and nature. Now, all of you take your English text and take page number 139. What's the title of the story? Yes, very good. The Nightingale and the Rose is the title of the story. Who's the author of the story, The Nightingale and the Rose? Oscar Wilde is the author of this story, The Nightingale and the Rose. Now, shall we go through the profile of the author, Oscar Wilde? Okay, let's go. He was born on 16th October 1854 at Dublin in Ireland. He was famous as an Irish poet and playwright. He was a poet of Victorian period. His notable works are The Picture of Dorian Gray, The Importance of Being Earnest, The Nightingale and the Rose, etc. He was died on 30th November 1900 at the age of 46. Students, did you see the sentences that given in a box just below the title? All of you read it. At some point in our life, we realize that nature soothes us and shares our pains. Does nature help us when we are in trouble or in need? Read a story about how nature helps man in times of need. Students, now I'll give you a short summary of the story The Nightingale and the Rose. The story begins with a young student who is lamenting in his garden because the love of his life will dance with him in the ball only if he brings her a red rose, but there is no red rose in his garden. The nightingale, living in the oak tree of his garden, hears the young man crying over his helplessness and lamenting the fact that all his learning is useless since it cannot win him a girl's love. The nightingale comes to know that the young man is weeping for a red rose. She feels the pain of that boy and wants to help him.
The bird flies and goes to the various bushes but cannot find a red rose. Finally, she comes to know about a way of getting a red rose by a tree. She performs a suicidal act while singing with her heart on the thorn, giving her heart's blood to a white rose, which turns it into a beautiful red rose. In this process, the nightingale dies. When the student wakes up, he sees the red rose under his window, plucks it joyously, and brings it to his love. The girl rejects the rose by saying that it will not match her blue dress and someone else has brought her jewels that are worth more than a rose. The boy throws the rose in the gutter and a cart runs over it. At the end, he decides that logic is better than love and love is unrealistic. He goes back to his home and starts reading a book. Students, hope you all understood the summary of the story The Nightingale and the Rose. Am I right? Students, what you have to do is read the story thoroughly and find out the difficult words. We will go through this beautiful story in the next class. So, take care. Thank you, dear children.